Alright guys, so we got Urkham here with a new deck. Homeboy's running Vanquish Soul.
Vanquish Souls, you already know, man.
Do you think it's a good deck or do you think it's mid?
You know, the deck's okay. I think it's got a lot of hidden and surprise factor to it. One of my buddies were comparing it to Magical Musketeers.
Damn.
And I think it's a perfect kind of comparison to like this day and age of Yu-Gi-Oh! This is kind of like the Magical Musketeers back in the day. Kind of overhyped, but like a rogue deck that can perform well if the pilot is good.
And do you think it's because nobody knows about it? Kind of like the whole factor with the second place national deck.
Yeah, all the decks that are top right now, a lot of it is because people just don't know what the cards do. This deck gets a lot worse once you know how to play around the columns. And like an example, I guess, is like if you have your link up, a lot of times they'll summon in this column. So like if you try and do the raise and pop, you're losing your link monster as well. And just, you know, playing in zones that are occupied so you can't get pops off them. It's pretty easy to understand how the deck works once you get a couple games in with it.
Alright dude, let's get into this deck profile and show people are looking at it.
Let's get right into it. So 3 Raisin, best card of the deck. Searches a Vanquish Soul monster. You're trying to resolve this on your turn and your opponent's turn as much as possible.
Yeah, and you got the collector rare.
Yeah, we're blinging out.
Damn.
My bank account's looking a little tough out here. But yeah, he searches either Mad Love or Heavy Burger, whatever piece you're missing, and then he starts the combos. His secondary effect, you reveal a Fire and Dark, and you pop monsters in the same column. So he's a little disruption as well as, you know, being the heart and soul of the deck with consistency. Next up, 3 Mad Love. Not as good as Raisin, but she's still pretty solid. She searches, she's like the second part of the combo I always go into, so she'll search either the Book of Moon or the Quick Play Monster Reborn card. So she sets up a lot of like interruption, I guess. She's good to resolve to get more interruption off on your opponent's turn. And her secondary effect is you reveal a Dark and an Earth, and it bounces the lowest defense monster on the field. So it sucks they put that restriction on it, so you can't bounce link monsters, and a lot of times you can't bounce cards if you have like this on board, because this 15 is pretty low. So you have to like maneuver your board well and then use the bounce effect, but most of the time I don't even do the bounce effect. Next up, 3 Heavy Borger. This is just Heat Soul with a different name.
It's the Boy Borger.
The Boy Borger. This is my favorite card. I need collectors of these fast. But yeah, he's really good. You just draw on your turn, draw on their turn. Just draw, draw, draw. You reveal a dark, so you need to have a dark in order to do it. His secondary effect is a burn effect, which is great. You know, it's always good to have cards that help in time. You reveal dark and fire, and it you can burn for 15. So this guy, he's one of the bigger guys, so he has a special effect where he can target a Vanquish Soul, bounce it to hand, and special himself. So him, as well as Caesar, Callius, or Valius, whatever his name is. So these two both have effects where they can bounce each other, or bounce a Vanquish Soul from your field back to your hand is special. So the tag out effect's really nice to dodge, you know, Veiler, Imperm, and just play around cards like that. They are restricted to only doing it in the main phase though. So speaking of this guy, he's like the boss of the deck. He's either a Towers that's unaffected by opponent's activated card effects if you reveal an Earth, or he has a non-target pop. So both effects come up all the time. It feels really good when you have all the attributes in hand to be able to resolve the pop and you have your full engine running. And then the last Vanquish Soul monster is just the one of Pantera, I guess. Yeah, Pantera. She's just she's neat because a lot of times you'll summon one of these guys, and then you'll link one, and then you can special her for free, because if you control no monsters, you're a main monster, and you can special her. So she helps with like rank 4 plays a lot, and then she can also pop a Speller Trap in the same column if it's Earth and Fire. So that comes up once in a while as well.
So you got a Monster Pop, a Back Row Pop, a Towers, and a Draw.
Monster Pop, Evac, non-target pop, draws, you know, a bunch of good removal. A lot of it's destruction though, so sometimes it can not be the best removal, but it's still good removal. So for some non-Vanquish Soul stuff, we're on 3 Fenrir, So like the deck needs a lot of earth, fire, and dark. So you just need to find good staple monsters with these attributes. And you know what's a better card than Fenrir, right? Best card. Not only is it a good removal card, it also searches the Fenrir back to hand, so you have the earth in hand still. So it's just, this card is insane in this deck. Really glad I played it. And to top it off, I did do the one Rise Heart, just because there are a lot of times where if you draw Fenrir and you have like Stake Your Soul, you can search the Rise Heart, and then that gives you access to fire. That way you can special raise it from the deck. So
yeah, that's fire.
Yeah. This is cool. I'll give credits to Ryan Levine. I saw his list and I fully agree on this package. Don't think I'll be changing it. Super nice. Some more fires. One Kurikara. Not the best in this format because it's kind of a new format. People are just playing whatever. But if Cash climbs up the ranks again, like this card is insane versus Cash. So. He's also a very good small world bridge. You can bridge a lot of things with Kurikara. So, and then more fires, Ash Blossom, can't go wrong with that. So I tried to play like 8 or 9, or I think it was 8 or 7 of each attribute. So, those are fires. For Earths, I do have more Earths. I have 2 bells. Not the best, to be honest. I wasn't a big fan of Regulus though as well. I think this is just a little better. The deck needs more going second stuff anyways, but this doesn't really cover every matchup, so sometimes it feels kind of mid. But we don't have Maxi like OCG does, so it feels kind of bad. I wish Maxi would be crazy if we had Maxi.
Bring back Maxi.
Actually, and then some darks. We have DD Crow. This is probably my favorite dark. You could do the Bestials as well. This has way more coverage though, because it can hit any card. So, doesn't have to be dark or light. It can be any card. It can be spell or traps even. Versus Labyrinth, hitting their big welcome to stop more disruption.
Or Sky Strikers with their engage.
This came huge against Sky Striker. Every time they summon Kagari, I just chain this. So this card put in work. Bestials are insane in this deck too though, and Bestials help link climb and Bestials help put damage on board, which a lot of time this deck lacks. It just lacks like the OTK power, so if you just summon like 1 or 2 Bestials, it's just easy way to OTK. And the Bestials, they're kind of like Fenrir, how if you summon Magma, it adds back a dark to your hand, right? So it keeps the attribute in your hand even after you use it. Like these cards, when you use them, you lose the attribute. So there's a lot of times where you're like, oh, should I even hand trap here, or should I keep the attribute in hand? And like those are the type of decisions you have to make. But like if Bestials end up being a better call for the format, I'll definitely be putting them into the deck because they have good synergy for sure.
Yeah, also search out your boss monster.
Yeah, Magma can also search out the Kalius, yeah. So for the 1 of spells, just 1 of each. I've been seeing people run 2 of this. I've seen people even run 3 of this. Just completely disagree. They're both once per turns. If you do your combo, you should have access to both of them. You don't want to run multiples and then brick on them. Yeah, not much to say. This is a Book of Moon, and this is really good into Cash and Sprite. A lot of times you can set up 2 monsters on board, so even if they nimble, you can still just book both of them, and then they just can't play if they don't have starter. So this is really good. It feels really bad into some rogue matchups though, so sometimes I'll even side this out. This one's really good. I love summoning Raisin. Like this one I feel like is the one I search more often, especially in the Roger matchups. If it's not Cash Tira or Sprite, I will never search this. I'll always search this because this keeps your engine rolling and gets all the attributes and stuff you need into hand. 3 Stake Your Soul. This card's crazy. You reveal any attribute monster. It doesn't have to be a Vanquish Soul, just any attribute. So you can reveal Ash, you can reveal Rise Heart. So like I was saying with Fenrir, if you special Fenrir search Rise Heart, you can use this to special raise it from the deck. So card's insane. Gotta run that. 3. More consistency, right? So 1 Rhoda searches Raisin. Why would you not run that? Then we're running, this is a little weird, we're running a bunch of 2-ofs, right? So we're running 2 Pressure Planet, 2 Small Worlds, and 2 Prosperity. So my thought was, you're drawing a lot with this deck with Burger, so like every turn when you draw, it sucks to draw multiples of cards. So all these are once per turn cards. So, you know, you draw your turn, then you draw on their turn, and when it comes back to your turn, you draw again, and then you're just drawing like 2 Small Worlds or 2 planets. because if I was running like, I was running 3-3 of this before, but then I was just drawing multiples, and this conflicts really bad with Burger as well. I might even cut this in the future, we'll see, but it's just such a good card, and you need more consistency, so I think this little 2-2-2 I have is pretty good. This was something I tested today. I haven't been running it on Dueling Book when I'm doing my testing on Dueling Book. I was just drawing this way too much with the Kashtira engine already, so like I'm thinking about maybe adding Scareclaw as an Earth, and that way you can extend and do like, you know, you can bait something out with like a rank 7 play, maybe make a Big Eye, or open up like a Shangira play, and then, or even go Rise Heart, because Burgers are 7 as well, so 3 7s makes a Rise Heart as well. So I like this. We'll see. I was drawing it too much with the Cash engine today, so I might cut it, but I was digging it because it gives you access to all the attributes, right? That's the essential reason. Like, it doesn't get you to your Vanquish engine, but if you have Vanquish engine, it gets you to the attributes you need. So you can get the Earth, you can get the Fire, and then you can keep playing. And then just for like random disruption, I decided to try Super Poly. I was playing on Dueling Book, and a lot of times people were ending on Super Polyable boards. Also, you can just like Super Poly your own board if you're going for game and just get like that extra like last push of damage in. You run a lot of attributes, right? You run Dark, Earth, Fire. So versus Kashtira, if you have a Fire on board, you can, you know, Super Poly during draw phase, maybe like Super Poly away the Shangira or something. It's okay. It was just a test. The deck struggles with removal sometimes. Like, so these could be technically Kaijus, or the more thing people are more familiar with is there can only be one. But I wasn't really liking there can only be one, and it sucks going second. Like, yeah, you can set it, but like this, you can activate this right away during your turn and like gain advantage and start playing right away. So it was just a test. It was okay. I'll keep messing with it. And then just 2 imperms. These could be Veilers. You could argue that these could be Veilers, but the same reason, like the deck kind of struggles going second. So like if these are Veilers, you can't, if you like top deck the Veiler or whatever, like you can't break the board as well. Like this just, you know, just imperm the Baron or imperm the Rise Heart feels way better than having Veiler. And Veiler, people are still running Shifter and stuff, so like Veiler's not always alive. But with all the draws you get from Heavy Borger, like drawing into this, obviously drawing into Veiler would be better, but like it just doesn't come up enough. Like I think Imperm is just a better card. So we'll just do side real quick. It's pretty generic. Still working on it, but one more of each of these. If the matchup's good, these hand traps are insane, so might as well run them. They're the right attributes that you need, so if you play a matchup they're good into, just put them in. So 2 nib. Just, you don't know, the format's new. Want to have coverage versus random decks that just don't respect nib. So this card's insane to draw off Borger. So this is one of the best hand traps to draw off Borger. So like, I was running 1 nib in the main for a while, but I took it out for now.
Oh yeah.
3 book. Cash still gonna be very relevant. So you just put this into Cash going first or second. That's why I love this card. It's a go first or second. So even if they make you go first, it's still a good card to side in. Best deck of the format is probably Sprite. So card Cook Sprite. You gotta run 3 Dark Roller. Pretty self-explanatory. Good into random decks that just combo off and set up Mad Omni Negates as well. And then lastly, just a bunch of more going second cards. This deck loses to a lot of back row. You know, Rivalry kind of cooks this deck. Skill Drain, even though you can play around Skill Drain a little bit, it's, you know, Floodgates still kind of mess this deck up. So just a bunch of back row removal. It's pretty good to have. So.
Did you only play this because it got hit on the ban list?
No, I was playing this. I was literally playing this at 2 in that remote regional I went to before the ban. So I don't know why I even got hit, but now I feel, you know, better. But oh, I can only play 2. That's why I'm running 2.
All right, let's get into that extra deck.
All right, extra deck is actually, you know, it's pretty flexible, but I don't think it's perfected yet either. Like I said, the whole list is a work in progress, guys. Definitely not solved yet. So 3 of this guy, you need 3 of them. I've went through 3 in a duel before, so definitely have to max out on this. Worst case, Prosperity Banish. I don't even banish this off Prosperity just because it does come up. The 3rd one does come up. So I guess if you don't know what this card does, it's just a quick effect. during the main phase, you can either add a Vanquish Soul from your graveyard to your hand, or special summon a Vanquish Soul from your hand. So this card's crazy. If you play a slow duel, you just generate so much advantage with this card. He also has like a mini protection effect where they can only attack the monster. They can only attack a Vanquish Soul monster with the highest attack. So just a quick note that this is not a Vanquish Soul monster. So a lot of people will get confused that, and they'll try and like book for 2 when they have this in a Vanquish, but you can't. Like it's called Rock of the Vanquisher. It's not an actual Vanquish Soul monster. So you can't bounce this to special the big guys either. But yeah, he's a great card. He's like the second Heart and Soul of the deck besides Raisin. For Link 1s, I'm doing these two. Just generic removal. This guy's a down arrow, so you just link it on here. You discard like a dead Fenrir in hand or a dead Prosperity or something in hand to draw.
Free draws.
Yeah, so it's pretty nice. Free removal, free draws. Now, a lot of people were on Unicorn and then Access Code, but I just never really had that many bodies on board. It just never came up, so I ended up cutting them. Unicorn also, Unicorn doesn't link up with this because it's only down arrow Unicorn, so you can't get the draw off Unicorn either. So I just decided to cut it. One card I would run or think about running is Security Dragon, because sometimes Destruction is not the way the removal you want. You want like a bounce. So I'm gonna try and fit Security Dragon in here if I can. Some rank 4s, Baguska, Dweller. The only reason I'm running this, I know it's not that good right now, but
you're afraid of Tier?
Yeah, a Tier, or I played against this random like what are they called? What's that deck called? Unchained. Any deck that has like graveyard effects and recursion on their monsters, this deck struggles a lot with. So like you need to have some like floodgate to like turn off their graveyard effects.
Hey, I don't blame you. I mean, because Danglong came back into the format, so now they have 2 in, and they try to get the counter trap. You can just Dweller if you destroy the Danglong, and they try to special and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially
like,
with Dino decks.
Yeah. Like this is just like it's such a good card, but like it's only good versus very niche decks. But you know, it's good to have the option than to not have it, right? So I decided to play it. Little Zodiac package. You can do Merrymaker into Sargus to search Regulus, but I don't know. I just felt like the deck could brick on the Regulus already. It's nice to get the Earth in hand, don't get me wrong. I tried it, I just wasn't really vibing with it. Also, it's not guaranteed Zeus if they have stuff in attack. Like Sargus can't like attack. This is guaranteed Zeus because it attacks directly, right? So, also a lot of times you're like not even trying to activate effects when you're going into Zeus because there's usually like a Fenrir on board or something. So you're usually just trying to like overlay, attack, overlay, and then wipe. So like using Sargus Search, you can get like disrupted by Fenrir, lose your Exceed or whatever. So. This is a little more consistent. Obviously, it's a neat package to like get the Earth in hand. But all right, now I have a little 7 engine here. I have Big Eye, Shangri-La, and a Rise Heart. This came up a couple times on DB. Didn't come up today though. Card's gas. I mean, it's Shifter on legs and a Dryden and Shifter on legs. So sometimes it's worth using the 3 bodies. You need to have a really good hand though to go to this, and you also play in a nib going to this. So like,
I mean, you also theorize like if you put in a Scareclaw inside the deck, you can always just.
Yeah, I've been thinking about adding Scareclaw into the deck, and I'll making these a lot easier. Also, just making this easier. If I do add Scareclaw to the deck, I might even consider running like, I don't know, maybe Dark Arm might be better than this. I don't know, because this doesn't really work well with Zeus. At least with Dark Arm, you attack, pop something, and then you can Zeus maybe. But this is really good in the Cashmere though. This like, not Cash, sorry, in the Cash matchup. If you play it in the Cash matchup and they disrespect, you just drop this on top of your Fenrir, make Zeus for free. This never comes up. It's weird where like I'll search Fenrir, I'll drop Fenrir, search Arise, and then I'll banish the Fenrir, and then I won't have another Fenrir in deck half the time to summon. So like, I might need to run one more Cash tier and name for this to be good. But this is really good because you run the field spell. It's another disrupt. Like, you know what? Why not? Why not run it? So It's also guaranteed Zeus because it can't be destroyed by battle, so you just crash into anything. And then just the 2 super poly targets. Like I said, this isn't guaranteed to stay in the deck, but just a good little niche tech that I tried.
Damn, and that was for the super poly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, super poly.
I mean, you have a lot. You have a lot to go through. You know, you said this was kind of pretty much like an in-depth profile. So, if anything improves, you know, who knows? We could probably do a deck profile later, or you know, just drop the deck. Nah, I'm just kidding.
We're invested.
We gotta cook. We gotta cook.
We gotta cook. We're gonna try and make it work.
Well, man, I appreciate you showing me the deck profile, and I'm sure everybody will appreciate it. So thanks.